Hello, my name is Jackson Kajenner with the Cold Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our interviews with the candidates who are running for the municipal election. Many will remember the Chamber hosting all candidates forums in person. However, this year, we've taken a new format where interviews with each of the candidates willing to participate will be uploaded to the Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel. I'm joined by Chris Vining, who is running for Councilor in the City of Cold Lake. For our viewers, I will briefly outline the format for these interviews. The candidate will be given 5 minutes to make introductory remarks. The candidate has been provided with 2 prepared questions, which they will be given 2 minutes to respond to. There are 3 questions which have been submitted by our members for the candidate, and they will be given 2 minutes to respond to each question. The candidate will be given 2 minutes to make their closing remarks. For fairness to all candidates, we do have a timekeeper who will be ensuring that responses stay within the time allotments. We'll now start with Chris giving his introductory remarks.
Right on. Well, thanks very much, Jackson, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for having this opportunity and that to address everybody. I know it's an awkward time right now and trying to get everybody together, so we appreciate the opportunity to kind of introduce ourselves to people or to revisit some of things. So, again, my name is Chris Vining. I'm a longtime resident here in Cold Lake. I came here in 1998. I've been working with Northern Lights Public Schools in that time. Currently, I'm a principal at Cold Lake Elementary School. Before that, I was at Smith Academy. Ran the outreach schools for a while, and then also at the old Grand Center High School. In my time here in Cold Lake, I've had the opportunity to do a lot of different things, and a lot of coaching and officiating and such, and really enjoy being a part of the community. In the time that I've been here, I've been married. My wife, Lene, is also an educator. We have 2 children, Brooke and Lucas, that are in grade 11 and grade 9 now, and heavily involved in the community. And yeah, so my whole time I've been on council, I've served now for 3 terms, just finishing my 11th year on council. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in working with the city and working with council in trying to improve and make our city a better place for everybody to live. I feel very confident in what we've accomplished, and I'm very proud of what we've done as a city council. And I'm also very proud of the work that I've done on some of the other boards that we are assigned to as when we're on council. The entire 11 years that I've been on council, I've been honored to sit on the Lakeland Lodge and Housing Foundation board, and recently I've spent the last 5 years as the chair. And in that time, we've done massive expansions for the whole region with our senior living facilities in both the Bonnie Lodge and new lodge for the Cold Lake Lodge, and many improvements and expansions to our senior social housing. So that's been a very big highlight as something that's is part of council but not necessarily part of city council. Time on council has been great. I look forward to continuing moving forward. Really enjoyed what we've managed to build for the city, the improvements we've made in the time that we've been here. Certainly our acquiring of the ID 349 and solidifying that funding has been a big part of that, and it has allowed us to really move things forward for everybody here in the city with new facilities, fire hall, recreation facilities, and other what is called non-structured recreation, so new outdoor rinks, skate park, the mountain bike park as well, and look forward to continuing to move things forward and working with the new council.
We will now begin with the prepared questions. Each candidate has been sent the same 2 prepared questions. Question 1. What is your position on property tax rates in Cold Lake?
Well, I think one of the good things that we've managed to do with our council is we've managed to keep the increases to our taxes fairly flat over the past, it's been probably 7 or 8 years since we've had to have much of a tax increase within the city beyond some natural increases to people's property taxes that's just come up with increasing values. But we are, I think, very much committed, and I have been, of making sure that any increases that we do have to folks' property taxes are very much kept in line, and that people are getting value for where they're at with their taxes. I know I pay a fairly good property tax bill myself, and I think that where we're at right now and the modest increases that we've seen have been fair. And certainly one of my big things is to make sure that anything that we are spending our taxes on is needed and that we are not certainly being frivolous with the spending so that we're not having to increase property taxes unnecessarily.
Question 2. If elected, what specific goal do you want to accomplish by the end of your term?
Yeah. Well, it's a really good question. Like 4 years seems like a lot of time, but it takes a lot of time to get things done. I think coming up, one of the things that I'm seeing on the horizon here in the next 4 years, the Lakeshore Drive development, we've been talking about this one the entire time I've been on council. I'm very excited to see that we actually, putting the plans together and to start seeing shovels in the ground on that project. I think that's really big. Our new public workshop, for anybody that's familiar with where our public works department is and what they're working under, they have been working very hard in conditions that aren't necessarily the most favorable or the best to get work done. So we're really looking forward to seeing that public workshop be completed. And the other part of it is, I think we've been in a long-standing kind of run with Department of National Defence and Public Service Procurement Canada on the PILT, our payment in lieu of taxes from the base. That's been in dispute, and we've taken a very principled approach with that. And there is some light on the horizon that we can get a favorable conclusion to that. And so I think those are some things that I really like to see over these next 4 years.
We now move into the unprepared question segment. Question 1. What makes you qualified to make decisions about the spending of taxpayer dollars and the level of services we receive?
Well, it's a really good question, and I think that's one that everybody that sits on council needs to really look carefully at. And I think that what I would say qualifies me, than the experiences that I've already had, is being a thoughtful person and being thoughtful about what it is that we spend money on and what it is that we are, and how you explain that to your neighbors. Municipal politics is great in the sense that, you could be expected to defend the decisions as a councillor in the produce aisle at Sobeys. So, you need to be thoughtful with what you do. I try to look at it the same way that as a ratepayer, how do I want to see my tax dollars spent, and to make sure that we have services. But it's a lot of times it's listening to people, because sometimes things that we might not see as a priority in our personal lives, we really need to make sure that we're listening to people that are involved and making sure we're taking all that into account to set appropriate priorities for things.
Question 2. What is the top political issue that you would hope to resolve during your tenure on council? How would you approach this issue?
Yeah, I think when we start dealing with on the political side of things, I think, and I've addressed this before, our dispute right now with the federal government with our payment in lieu of taxes is a huge one that we need to get rectified, and that is, it is partially a political piece, but it's also continuing through the ongoing philosophy that we've had in this disagreement with the federal government. And so I think that's going to be a big one within that. I think that politically, our ongoing relationship with the MD of Bonneville, we have seen great improvements over the last 4 years in that time, and I really want to see that continue to improve. We've really built some great relationships there, and that's helpful to both regions, and I think we really need to continue to work on that. And lastly, I think we really need to work with the provincial government politically, because right now we are seeing a downloading of more and more expenses and responsibilities to municipalities that were normally taken care of at the province, and it's concerning right now because it is putting pressure on what we talked about before when we talked about responsible use of property taxes. It's when you're getting forced to have to spend money on things that you didn't before because the province is pushing that down, that's a concern, and we need to look at how we're going to do that and work politically on how to balance that out as to what is municipal and what is provincial responsibility.
Question 3. What is your plan to ensure that Cold Lake has a vibrant and growing business community?
Well, I think one of the biggest pieces is making, when we talk about what we're doing on the city council, I think one of the biggest things you do is you work hard to make your community a livable community. You make your community one that people want to come to. When that happens, and we've already seen it here in the improvements that we've done, when we have adequate housing and we've got good transportation and roads and we have good facilities, people want to move here and people want to make Cold Lake their home. And when you do that, there's a lot of trickle that comes along with that, including opportunities for business. And we've seen it over the time that I've been on council, a diversification in the economy here in Cold Lake and the building of businesses. I think coming out of COVID is going to be a very interesting time for the business community in Cold Lake. And I think the biggest thing is we need to take the time to listen and to see where we can go to make sure that we're supporting where we can, and to continue to work with our business partners to help grow that community.
And to conclude today, I would invite Chris to give his closing remarks.
Well, thank you again to the Chamber for the opportunity to do this and to do this interview. It's greatly appreciated to be able to reach out and talk to people. As I've said, I've been 23 years now here in Cold Lake, and I have really, it's become my true home. It'll be my lifelong home, and I have such a strong desire to continue to grow. We have seen such great improvements, I believe, in the 11 years that I've been on council, and I think that there is more work to do, and there are things on the horizon that we need to make sure that we are taking into account for the city, and to ensure that we can continue to grow. And I want to use my experience and my ability to work with others to continue that journey. So, thank you.
We would like to thank Chris for joining us today and taking the time to answer some of the questions that are important issues for the upcoming municipal election on October 18th.
Thank you.